In this video, we will solve O-Level Mathematics Paper 1. This is May-June 2018, and this is the second variant of the paper. So let's start with question number 1. So you have to evaluate this fraction 4 over 11 minus 2 by 7. So we start off by taking the LCM. Since there are no common factors between 11 and 7, your LCM would be simply 11 times 7, which is 77. So since you multiplied this 11 by 7, you will multiply this 4 in the numerator with 7 as well. So you will get 4 times 7. And then you multiplied this 7 by 11 to get 77. So you'll multiply this 2 in the numerator with 11 as well. So minus 11 times 2. So you get 7 times 4 is 28. And 11 times 2 is 22. So you get 28 minus 22 over 7. So 28 minus 22 would be 6 over 77. So this will be your final answer. Part B is evaluate 0.9 into 0.011. So it's always a good idea to convert these decimals into fractions, so which makes the multiplication a little easier. So since I have to move this decimal one place to the right to get 9, so this will be 9 over 10. Multiplied by, I'll have to move this decimal 1, 2, and 3 places to the right. So I will get 3 zeros in the denominator, and this becomes 11. So 11 times 9 is 99, and 99 over 10,000. So there are 4 zeros in the denominator, 10,000. So I have to move the decimal 4 places to the left. So 1, 2, and then I have to add 3, 4. So 2 zeros will be added here, here, and here. So this becomes equals to 0.0099. So this will be your final answer. Question number 2 is Cecil bought a camera for $120. After 2 years, he sold it for $90. Calculate the percentage loss. So percentage loss is given by the decrease in price divided by the original price. So what's the decrease in price? It dropped from 120 to $90. So your decrease is 120 minus 90, and your original price was $120. So 120. And then you have to multiply here by 100 as well, because you're calculating a percentage. So you multiply this by 100. So this will be 120 minus 90 would be 30. So 30 over 120 multiplied by 100. So 0, 0 cancel out. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So you get 100 by 4, which is equals to 25%. So your percentage loss is, or the percentage decrease in the price is 25%. Here you're saying percentage loss because he sold it for 2 years, after 2 years. So the loss is basically the decrease in price over original price times 100. Part B is some money is shared between Miriam and Nina in the ratio 2:3. What percentage of the total money shared does Miriam receive? So Miriam ratio Nina is 2:3. So if there are 5 total parts, Miriam receives 2 and Nina receives 3. So Miriam receives 2 out of the 5 parts because the ratio that is given is 2:3. So total parts are 5, and 2 go to Miriam, and 3 go to Nina. So in fraction, you can represent it as 2 by 5. But since you have to calculate the percentage, you will have to multiply it by 100. So this becomes equals to 5 ones are 5, 2, 20, and 20 times 2 is 40. So Miriam receives 40% of the total money that is shared. part C is given that A ratio B is 5 ratio 6, B ratio C is 3 ratio 8. Find A ratio B ratio C. So you know that A ratio B is 5 ratio 6, and then B ratio C is what? 3 ratio 8. So here B is the common value between both these ratios that are given. We know the relation of B with A through this ratio given, and we also know the relation of B with C through this ratio given here. So now what you can do is you can make the value of B the same so that you can find the corresponding relation of A and C as well. So in this ratio, the value of B is 6, but here this is value is 3. So if I multiply this ratio here by multiplied by 2, I get B ratio C as 6 ratio 8 times 2 is 16. Now I know that when B is 6, what is the value of A? A is 5. So B is 6, C is 16, and when B is 6, A is 5. So A ratio B here would be 5 ratio 6. So now by using this common value of B, you made the value same in both ratios, and then you can find the relation of B with A and B with C together. So this is 5 ratio 6 ratio 16. Question number 3, part A is arrange the 5 numbers in order starting with the smallest. So smallest number would be the negative number. So you have two negative numbers here, minus 0.3 and minus 1.2. So minus 1.2 is smallest. So this will go first, and then, oops, minus 1.2, and then you have minus 0.3. And then you have these positive values 0.05, 1.3, and 0.2. So 0.05 is the smallest of these three remaining values. So 0.05 would be the next one. And then out of these two remaining, 0.2 is the next largest, and 1.3 is the largest value. Part B is for the 5 numbers, find the mean. So your mean is sum divided by the number of values, which are 5. You have 5 numbers, so sum over 5. So let's calculate the sum. Let's add them all together. So I'll add them using this order from smallest to largest. So minus 1.2 plus minus 0.3 will become minus 0.3 plus 0.05 plus 0.2 plus 1.3, and then whole divided by 5. Now I can see here that minus 1.2 minus 0.3 will be minus 1.5 plus 0.05, and then 1.3 plus 0.2 is plus 1.5 divided by 5. And this plus 1.5 and minus 1.5 will equal to 0, so they cancel out. So you have 0.05 divided by 5, which is equals to 0.01. So 0.01. Then you have to find the range. So range is given by largest minus the smallest number. So what is your largest number? So you have already sorted them in from smallest to largest. So your largest is this 1.3 minus your smallest is minus 1.2. So minus 1.2. This minus and minus becomes positive. So 1.3 plus 1.2 is 2.5. This will be your final answer. Question 4 is y is inversely proportional to the square of x. So y is inversely proportional to the square of x. That means y is directly proportional to 1 over square of x, 1 over x square. And then you can say y equals to some constant k over x square. Given that y equals to 10 when x equals to 3, so find y when x equals to 1 by 2. So first we need to find the value of k. using these pair of values that we are given. So y is 10 when x is 3. So k over 3 squared. So 3 square is 9, and then 9 times 10 is 90. So k is 90 in this case. So your equation becomes y equals to 9 over x squared. Now you have to find y when x equals to 1 over 2. Sorry, 90 over x squared. K is 90. So y equals to 90 over 1 by 2 square. 1 over 2 squared. So this becomes 90 divided by 1 over 4. I can write it as 90 divided by 1 over 4. And if I change this to multiply sign, 90 multiplied by this, I'll take the reciprocal. So this becomes 4. And 90 times 4 is 360. So your answer here will be 360. Question number 5 is factorize 25t square minus 4. So I can see these are complete squares. 25 is a square of 5, and this is 4 is also a perfect square of 2. So I can use the formula a square minus b square. I can factorize it as a plus b into a minus b. So this is, I can write 25t square as 5t whole square minus 2 square. So now I have a is 5t and b is 2. So this becomes equals to 5t plus 2 multiplied by 5t minus 2. So this will be your final answer. Part B is factorize x square minus 6x minus 3xy plus 18y. So from these two terms, I can take x as common. So this becomes x into x minus 6. And from these two terms, I can take minus 3y as common. So if I take minus 3y as common, I get remaining x here. And this changes to a negative sign since I've taken minus 3 common. So this becomes minus. And if I take 3 common, I get 6. And y is as it is because this y is taken out here. So this becomes equals to this. So now I can take x minus 6 common. So this becomes equals to x minus 6 times x minus 3y. So this will be your answer. Question number 6 is a rectangle has length 64 millimeter and width 37 millimeter, each correct to the nearest millimeter. So your degree of accuracy is 1 millimeter. Write down the lower bound for the length. So first you need to find the error, and the error is always your degree of accuracy divided by 2. So in this case, your degree of accuracy is 1 divided by 2. So you get the error 0.5. And then the lower bound would be equals to, for the length, it will be 64 minus the error 0.5. So you get 63.5. So your answer is 63.5 millimeters. Part B is calculate the lower bound for the perimeter of the rectangle. So the perimeter is given by 2 into length plus width. So this is your perimeter of a rectangle. So how will you find the lower bound? So you want to minimize the value of this perimeter. So that means since these two are being added and then being multiplied by 2, so the minimum value of length plus the minimum value of the width multiplied by 2 will give you the lower bound. So this would be 2 times, what is the lower bound for the length? You have calculated it, 63.5, plus what is the lower bound of width, which is 37 millimeter minus the error. Error is 0.5. So this will be lower bound of width would be equals to 37 minus 0.5, which is 36.5. So plus 36.5. And then if I add these two, I get 60 plus 30 is 90, 96, 99, 100. So 2 times 100. This is 200 millimeter is the lower bound for the perimeter of this rectangle. Question 7, part A is triangle OPQ is part of a figure that has rotational symmetry of order 2 about the point O. Complete the figure. So that means if you divide your full circle, which is 360 degrees, by your rotational symmetry order, which is 2 here, you get 180 degrees. So that means this shape will repeat after every 180 degrees. So if I rotate it 180 degrees like this, I will get this. I have to draw this shape here as well. And then another 180 degree rotation will bring me back full 360 degrees back into the original position. So let me show you what I mean here. So I have this shape, exact same shape here as well. And if I rotate it 180 degrees, so you can rotate your question paper similar to how I am rotating my diagram here. So after 180 degrees, you have this shape. So that means I have to draw this line which goes like -2 from in negative x direction, like left side of O, and then 1 point below O. So if I draw this line here, so let me erase these arrows first. And if I draw this OP here in this diagram, it will be like this. So it will start at point O and it will go in this direction and end up here. So basically I've drawn this OP here, this diagram here, this line here. And then you have this straight line, one block in this direction, in the vertical direction. So I'll draw this starting from this point and up till this point. And then here you join it back to the point O. So I'll join it back from this point here, like this. So what you have done here is basically drawn the same shape, but after 180 degrees rotation, because your symmetry is of order 2. So that this shape will repeat itself after every 180 degrees. So after 180 degree rotation, it looked like this, and you basically just draw this on the original diagram. So the next part, B, is the diagram shows a circle, its center and two chords. Add one chord to give a diagram that has one line of symmetry. So since this overall shape is a circle, that means the line of symmetry will pass through the center of circle. So let's like draw any arbitrary line here that passes through the center of circle. So if this is the line of symmetry, that means this chord will have a mirror image on the other side of this line, which will be something like this. And then this chord will have another mirror image on this side, which will look something like this. But the question states you can only add one chord. So that means this isn't the correct answer. This cannot be our line of symmetry. So since we can only draw one chord, that means we have to split the other one of these two chords in half so that the other half is already the mirror image across the line of symmetry. So let me show you what I mean. So if I split this chord in half, that means if I draw this line of symmetry that passes through the center and splits this chord in half, right? Now for this half, I have the mirror image already on the other side. So I don't have to draw anything for this chord. But for this chord, for this part, this one here, I have to draw the mirror image on the other side. So it will be something like this. So this is the mirror image of only this part. And then for this part, I will draw the mirror image on the other side, which will be like this. And since this is a one continuous chord, this mirror image of the two like halves of this chord is also a single chord. So this is actually one straight continuous line. So this is one possible answer where you added one chord and it has this line of symmetry. So you have mirror image of this half here, and this chord is split in two parts. So this part is on one side of this line of symmetry, which has the mirror image, which is this, and this part has the mirror image this, but overall this is a single straight line and a single chord. So that satisfies this condition that you can only add one chord. So there's another possible answer here as well. So this time I will split this other chord in half like I did here with the first one. So let's do that as well. So now if I split this chord in half, my line of symmetry will look something like this. And now for this part, I already have the mirror image, which is this line here. I only have to draw the mirror image of this chord, which will be something like this. In fact, it's a little shorter. So like this, yeah. So again, this satisfies the condition. You only added one chord and you have this line of symmetry. For this, you have this mirror image. For this line, you already have the other half on the other side. So that's the mirror image of this half. So there are two possible answers. You can draw either one of them. Both are correct. Question 8 is you have to solve this equation 4 over x minus 11 equals to 1 over 3x. So you can cross multiply. So 3x will go to this side. So like this, and then this goes on this side. This. So 3x multiplied by 4, and then x minus 11 multiplied by 1 will be x minus 11. So this becomes 12x equals to x minus 11. If I take this x to the other side, this becomes 12x minus x equals to minus 11. This is 11x equals to minus 11, and then x equals to minus 1. So your answer will be minus 1. Question number 9 is express each of the following as a single fraction in its simplest form. So 2 over 3a plus 5 over 2a. So you can take the LCM. Since 3 and 2 do not have any common factors, your LCM would simply be 6a. You will multiply 3a by 2 to get 6a, and you will multiply 2a by 3 to get 6a. So since you multiplied this denominator with 2, you will multiply this 2 in the numerator with 2 as well. Plus, since you multiplied this 2a by 3 to get 6a, so 5 here will be multiplied by 3 as well. So 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 3 is 15 over 6a, and then 15 plus 4 is 19 over 6a. This is looks like 9. Let me 6a. So your answer will be 19 over 6a. Part B is 5 over 2b squared divided by 15 over 4b cubed. So you can change this division sign into multiplication and then take the reciprocal of this fraction. So you will get 5 over 2b squared multiplied by 4b cubed over 15. Now you can simplify. B square will cancel out and this 3 power will become 1. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 3 is 15. So the remaining are 2b in the numerator and then 3 in the denominator. So you will have 2b over 3. Question number 10 is by writing each number correct to two significant figures, calculate an estimate of this. So you have to write each number to two significant figures. So let's start with 596. This is the first non-zero value. So this is first significant figure, and this is the second significant figure. So then you have to round up until this 9 here. So since after 9 you have a number that is greater than equal to 5, so you will round it up. This becomes equals to 60 and then 0, 600. Multiplied by first significant figure is 1, then 6 is the second, and then you have 1 which is less than 5, so you will round it down to 16 and then square root here. And then this is your first non-zero value. So 2 is the first significant figure, 9 is the second, and then you have 8. So 8 is greater than equal to 5, so this becomes equals to 0.30. Then under root of 16 is 4, so you get 600 into 4 divided by 0.30, which is 6 times 4 is 24, and then the two zeros, 2400 divided by 0.30. I can remove this decimal, so I will move this decimal two places to the right. So this becomes equals to 2400 divided by 30 divided by 100, and this is actually equals to 2400 divided by 30 over 100. And then I can change this division sign into a multiplication sign. So this becomes 2400 multiplied by, I take the reciprocal of this, so I get 100 over 30. So this 0 and this 0 cancels out. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 8 is 24, and then two zeros. So this becomes equals to 800 multiplied by 10, and this is equals to 8000. So your answer will be 8000. So question number 11 is f of x is given by 1 over 3x plus 2. You have to find f of minus 2. So f of minus 2 would be, I can replace the value of x with minus 2. So this becomes equals to 1 over 3 into minus 2 plus 2, which is equals to 1 over minus 6 plus 2, which is equals to 1 over minus 4, or you can write it as minus 1 over 4 as well. So this is minus 1 over 4. Part B is find f inverse of x. So we let y equals to f of x. So if I want to make x the subject, I will take f to the other side. So this gives me f inverse of y equals to x. So we'll use this later on. So let's first use this. So y equals to f of x mean y equals to f of x is 1 over 3x plus 2. Now I will make x the subject of the equation so that I can then substitute this f inverse of y. So let's first make x the subject. So if I cross multiply here, I get y into 3x plus 2 equals to 1. If I open this bracket, I get 3xy plus 2y equals to 1, and then 3xy equals to 1 minus 2y. And then if I want to make x the subject, I will take this 3y to the other side. So this gives me x equals to 1 minus 2y over 3y. So now I can substitute this x and replace it with f inverse of y. So if I change this x, substitute it with f inverse of y, I get f inverse of y equals to 1 minus 2y over 3y. So if f inverse of y is this, then f inverse of x is simply substitute x in place of y everywhere. So you get 1 minus 2x over 3x. So your f inverse of x would be 1 minus 2x divided by 3x. Question 12 is a dice is thrown 400 times. The results are shown in the table. So you have number thrown and their frequencies. Find the relative frequency of throwing the number 2. So this is basically the fractional number. So your relative frequency would be for the number frequency for throwing number 2, for throwing number 2 divided by the total frequency, you can say the number of times you have thrown the dice. So what's the frequency for throwing number 2 is 80, and you threw the dice 400 times. So this is the fractional proportion of or the relative frequency of getting the number 2. So 80 over 400 will be, you can simplify it further, and 8 times 1 and 8 times 5 is 40, so 1 over 5. So part B is Imran throws the dice 1000 times. How many times would you expect the number 2 to be thrown? So out of 400 times, we expected 80, which was 1 by 5. So out of 1000 would be 1 by 5 into 1000. So you 1/5 of the time you get the number 2 whenever you throw the dice. So 1/5 of 1000 would be 5 times 1, and 5 times 2 is 10, and then the two zeros, so you get 200. So if you throw the dice 1000 times, you will get the number, you can expect to get the number 2 200 times. This is 200. Question 13 is, in a school of 270 children, the distance each child can swim was recorded. The distance are summarized in the table below. So the distance is given in meters and then the number of children. So between 0 and 100 meters, there you have 110 children who can swim a distance between 0 and 100. Then 50 children can swim a distance between 100 and 200, and so on. So you have to complete the table to show the frequency densities. So frequency density is basically the frequency divided by the interval length. So your frequency here is 110, and then you divide it by the interval length, which is 100, 100 minus 0. So 110 divided by 100 would be 1.1. Oh. Similarly here, your frequency is 50, and then you divide it by the interval length, again 100, so you get 0.5. Here your frequency is 60 divided by your interval length is 500 minus 200, which is 300. So in this case you will get 6 by 30, or 1 over 5. So 1 over 5 is actually, if you divide 1 by 5, you get 0.2. Here your frequency is 50 and your interval is 1000 minus 500, which is 500. So you get 1 over, sorry, 5 times 1 and 5 times 10. So you get 1 over 10, which is 0.1. So this is how you will fill up the table. Part B is calculate an estimate for the number of children who could swim more than 400 meters. So more than 400 meters is, so 400 will lie in this interval, which is between 200 and 500. So you will find how many are in this interval, which is 400 greater than equal d, and then 500, and then plus the one you have here, which is 500 greater than equal, d is greater than equal to 500, and then less than 1000. So you already know this number. This number here is 50. So 50 can swim between 50 and 1000. Plus you have to find how many can swim between 400 and 500. So if you add the two together, you will get the total children who can swim more than 400 meters. So how would you calculate this? So you know the frequency density across this interval is 0.2, and the number of children is 60. That means if you multiply 0.2 by this whole interval, you get 60. But now your interval has changed. Your interval is 100. So if this was your, suppose this was your histogram for this interval, which was 200 to 500. So your height was what? 0.2. But you're only interested in number of students which are 400 and between 400 and 500. So you're only interested in the number of students here. So you want to find this area rather than this full area of your this bar in the histogram. You will want to find the area of this bar only between 400 and 500. So what's the area between 400 and 500? It's a rectangle with height 0.2 and length. So length is 100. So your area is 0.2 into 100, which is what? 20 into, oh sorry, so this would be 0.2 multiplied by 100 would be 20. So then 20 plus 50, let me write it cleanly. So this looks like a 0 here. So 20 plus 50 would be equals to 70. So there are 70 students who can swim more than 400 meters. So you use this frequency density here and this interval here. So your histogram for this interval, you can sketch it quickly between 200 and 500. Your frequency density is 0.2, and your total area here is 60. And then you are only looking for the area between 400 and 500 because you're only looking for students who can swim more than 400 meters. So you took 0.2, which is the height, or you can call the width of this rectangle, and then 100 was the other side of the rectangle. So you multiply them to get this area, which represents the number of students between 400 and 500. So this is an estimate. It may not be true. Maybe if you are looking at this histogram, maybe these all students lie in this area, but you cannot tell that from the given information. That's why it's asking you for the estimate. So based on the frequency density, you can estimate that if there are 60 students in this whole area, there will be 20 students in this interval between 400 and 500. So moving on to question number 14. An irregular polygon has 22 sides. Calculate the sum of all its interior angles. So sum of all angles, you know that for any polygon, it's given by n minus 2 into 180, where n is the number of sides. So you have 22 sides here. So you get 22 minus 2 into 180, which is equals to 20 times 180. So 180 times 10 is 1800. Then you double that, you will get 3600. So 180 times 20 would be 3600. So this is the sum of all the interior angles of this polygon, which has 22 sides. Part B is two of the angles in the polygon are each 170 degree. The remaining 20 angles are equal to each other. Calculate the size of one of those 20 angles. So let angle equals to x. All right, x degrees. So you know that the sum is 3600. So you know that two of the angles in the polygon are 170. So 170 plus 170, and remaining all of the 20 are x. So 20 times x is 20x, and the sum should equal to 3600. So 170 is 340. So you get 20x equals to 3600 minus 340. 3600 minus 340 would be 3300, and then 3260. So 20x equals to 3260, and then x equals to 3260 divided by 20. Zero zeros cancel out. 2 times 1, 2 times 1, 112, 6, and 3 times 6. So you get 163 degrees. So your answer is the size of one of the other 20 angles, which are all equal. So one of them is the size of that angle is 163 degrees. So question number 15 is, during 2 weeks, a shopkeeper records the number of packets of two different types of tea he sells and the profit he makes from them. So in week 1, he sold 30 packets of type A tea, and he made a profit of $1.20 on each packet. And on type B, he sold 20 packets in week 1 and made a profit of $2. So for week 2, type A tea, 40 packets sold and loss of $0.50 on each packet. And type B tea was 30 packets were sold and profit was $3 on each packet. Then this information can be represented by these matrices. So this matrix represents the number of packets sold. So this is type A, type B, sold in week 1. 30 packets type A week 1 here, and then 20 packets sold type B in week 1. And similarly, this 40 and 30 represents again type A and type B and sold in week 2. And then this is the profit on each packet. So this is $1.20 profit on type A, $2 on type B, and this is again profit. Let me actually write it below here. For this is profit week 1, And similarly, this is type A, this is type B, $3 profit, and this is for profit week 2. So you have to now work out this expression given here, which is matrix multiplication here and here, and then you're subtracting the two. So uh, similar to how you have learned matrix multiplication, you will multiply this row with this column, and you'll multiply the first value in this row with the first value of this column, second value in the row multiplied by second value in the column, and then add the two. So you'll get 30 into 1.2. Oh, let me write this again. So 30 multiplied by 1.2 uh, plus 20 multiplied by 2. So you'll solve this first, and then minus uh, 40 multiplied by the first value multiplied by the first value in the column, so minus 0.5, and then plus this 30 multiplied by this 3, so 30 times 3. Now you'll solve this. So 30 times 1.2, let's calculate that. 30 times 1.2 is 206 03. So this is actually 36. So this is 36 plus 40 minus 40 multiplied by negative zero point 0.5 would be minus 20 plus 30 times 3 is 90. So you get 40 plus 36 is 76 minus 90 minus 20 is what? 70. 76 minus 70 is 6. So your answer is 6. Part B is explain the meaning of your answer to part A. So let me, what are you actually calculating? What do these expressions mean, right? So here you're taking this matrix, this one. So so you're taking this green one and then multiplying with this green one. So both are this packets sold in week 1 multiplied by the profit on each packet made in week 1. So you're multiplying this 30 here with this 1.2, which is uh, you're making a $1.20 profit on each packet sold, and you sold 30 packets. So this is the total profit made from type A tea in week 1. So this here is profit from A in week 1, right? And then similarly here, you're multiplying this 20 with 2. So 20 packets sold, and on each packet you made a profit of $2. So 20 multiplied by 2, which is this, is profit from TB in week 1. And similarly, if you look at this expression, which is this multiplied by this is the profit made or the loss, since this is the negative sign. So this we can still say profit, and with the negative sign it would mean loss. So profit from type A and week 2, and this is profit from type B in week 2. So now you're adding the profit from A in week 1 and profit from B in week 1. So this is your total profit in week 1 that you made from these two types of tea that you sold, A and B. And this is the total profit you made from both types of tea, A and B. You're adding them together. So this is the total profit made during week 2. And then you're subtracting the two values. So you're subtracting the profit from week 2 from profit made in week 2 from profit made in week 1. So this is basically the difference in total profit between week 1 and week 2. So this is the difference in total profit. So this is total profit week 1 minus total profit week 2. So this is the difference in total profit between week 1 and week 2. So this is the actual meaning of this calculation that you did in part A. The question number 16 is the masses of 200 beetles were measured. The results are summarized in the cumulative frequency table and part of the cumulative frequency curve is drawn. So less than equal to, so mass less than equal to 0.5, there were no beetles that weighed less than 0.5 gram. Less than 1 gram, there were 25 beetles and so on. So part A is complete the cumulative frequency curve. So the last value on the curve is for M this 2, which was 150 here, and you can see 150 here as well. So we have to plot these three points. So at M 2.25, so let's first calculate what's the value represented by each of these small boxes. So if I move from here to here, the change in value is 2.5 minus 2, which is 2.5 minus 2. And how many boxes, small boxes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 10. So this change of 0.5 is represented by 10 boxes. So that means each box is 0.5 divided by 10, which is 0.05. So each of these small box represents a change in value of 0.05. So let's look at here. So 2.25 is 170. So I can, so this is 2, this is 2.5. So this middle value here, this here will be 2.25. So this is 2.25 and the y value is 170. So here 150 to 200. So the change is 50 and again 10 boxes. So that means each small box represents a change of 5. So 150, 155, 160, 165, 170. So this is your 170 mark. So let's first go in this direction. So this is 170. So we have to, our point is 2.25 on x-axis and 170 on y-axis. So if I extend this 170 all the way up till I go to 2.25 line, which is this one here. So this is the 2.25 line here. So this is my first point. And then the next one is 2.5 and 185. So this is the 2.5 line and 185 would be, so this is 170, 175, 180 and 185. So this here will be 185. So let's extend this 185 up till this line, which is 2.5. So this is our second point. And the last point is this 200 line and this 3. So this is pretty straightforward. So this will be the your third point. So now you can extend this curve like this. So let me try to draw this like this. So this will be your curve for these last 3 points. So now your cumulative frequency curve is complete. So part B is use the curve to find an estimate for the median. So median value is 25% of total frequency. Total frequency. So median is, oh no, sorry. This is actually median. So this is 50%. Lower quartile is the 25%. So value at 50% frequency. So 50% of frequency is, so there are 200 beetles total. So the masses of 200 beetles were measured. So 50% of 200 would be equals to 50 over 100 into 200. So 50% will be 100. So what is the value at 100? So if you look at the line at 100, it intercepts the curve at this point. So this is the point I'm looking at, this one here. So let's keep going down. So this is the point. So let's count. So 1.5, and each small box represents a value of 0.05. So 1.55, 1.6, 1.65, and then 1.7. So this is 1.7. So your median value is 1.7 gram. And part 2 is lower quartile. Lower quartile is value at 25% frequency. So 25% would be, so 25%, just erase this is not an equal sign. So 25% of 200 would be equals to 25 over 100 into 200. So this will be, actually zeros cancel out, and then 50. So now you have to look at the value at the cumulative frequency value of 50. So this is your 50 line, and it intercepts the graph, the cumulative frequency curve at this point. So let's see what's the x value here. So this is 1.5. This middle line would be 1.25. So this middle line here is 1.25. Uh, so this was 1.25, and your one box to the right. So 1.25 plus 0.05 is 1.3. So your answer is 1.3 gram, which is your lower quartile. Part 3 is you have to find an estimate for the number of beetles that have a mass of greater than 1.85 grams. So let's see, where is 1.85? So this is 1.7, this is 1.75, this is 1.8, and then 1.85 would be this one here. So let's see where this intercepts our cumulative frequency curve. So if I keep going up, I'll reach this point. So this line, this one here, right in the middle between 150 and 100. So this is 125. So up till this point, our value for the cumulative frequency is 125. That means there are 125 beetles that weigh 1.85 less than 1.85 grams. So the remaining, which are above this value, have a mass that is greater than 1.85, because the curve is towards the right side of this 1.85. So let me mark it here. So this is 1.85. So if I want to calculate the number of beetles which have a mass of greater than 1.85 grams, so I know that 125 have mass less than 1.85. So 200 minus 125 will give me the number of beetles that have a mass greater than 1.85 grams. So this is 200 minus 125 would be 75. So your answer will be 75. So you have 75 beetles whose mass is greater than 1.85 grams. Question number 17 is, the diagram shows a pyramid. The square base ABCD, so this base is a square, has an edge of 3 centimeter. So all four sides will be 3. The base is horizontal, and the vertex E is vertically above D, where ED is 4 centimeters. So your vertex, which is the top of your pyramid, which is represented by this vertex E, is right vertically above D. So usually the pyramids you have studied, usually they have the top of the cone right in the middle. So if you go straight up from this middle of your base, you reach the top. But this is a different pyramid where this top vertex E is directly above this point D. So that is why this angle is 90 degree. It's directly above this point D. So Part A is on the grid below. Complete the accurate drawing of a net of the pyramid. Do not draw outside the grid. So first we have to see which points are we given here. So if you look at this diagram, this is your base A, B, C, D. So this is your point A, B, C, D. And then you're given this left side. So that means this triangle ADE is this one. This is point E. You have basically opened up the pyramid and laid this side towards this on the left here, flat. And this is your triangle ADE, which is ADE here in the pyramid. And you know that DE is 4, so this length here is 4, and all these lengths are 3, 3, 3, and 3. And similarly, there's one other triangle here, which is uh, opened up to the bottom here. So this means this triangle ABE is the one that has been opened up like this and laid flat on this horizontal surface. So this point will be E here as well. So do not confuse yourself why there are multiple E points, because once you make the pyramid, once you make the fold here and fold these triangles up, they will all come and join together at this top point E. So once you open the net here, that's why you are getting multiple E's here. So that means now you have to draw for this triangle BCE, which comes down to the right, and the triangle DCE, which will, if you open up the pyramid, it will come here at the top. So let me mark these points inside so I don't overlap the line. So this is D and this is C. So now you know that you have to draw for this triangle, which will open up to the top, and you know that this angle here is 90°, the line that goes to E. So if you open it up here, and your length is how much? 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 grid blocks. So you'll go straight up 4 blocks. So this is 4, and you will draw this line here, which is your EC. So this will be your back side. Once you open it up, this will lay flat to the top with this length ED 4. This DC is 3, and if you want this angle is 90°, you can calculate this length EC, which is 5, using the Pythagoras theorem. And now if you look at this right side here, which is the triangle EBC, you will open it up here towards the right side. And if you look at this triangle, this lines BC and line EC make a 90° angle. This angle here in the triangle is 90 degrees because this point E is directly above C. Oh, sorry, directly above D. So this line here is going directly above this CD. So this is making a 90° angle with this line BC. So if I open this up here, this will be a 90° angle here between line BC and BE, and the length would be 5, which you have calculated using the triangle EDC, which was 90° here, you had 4 here, 3 here, and this was 5. So let me actually open this up here. So this is the same pyramid, just to visualize it better. So you have points A, B, C, D. So ignore these gray lines. The pyramid is represented, so all the sides are represented in green and the base is represented in purple. So you have the the vertices of the square A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. So assume this is a square here. And then you have the point E, which if I rotate, it is directly above this D here. So it's vertically above the point D. So this is how you can visualize this pyramid a little bit better. So this is the orientation in which the diagram is shown. So now how did I conclude that this is a 90° angle? Because this is directly above E. So that means this line here will go straight up towards this point E, which is above this point D. If this was E was in the center here, right above the center, this line would have been less than 90 degree compared to this. If you make the angle between line BC and CE, if E was here in the center, right above the center here, this line would have made an angle which was less than 90 degree because it would have gone somewhat in this direction. But since E is directly on top of D, this line here goes in this direction, but it is raised because it's going in this 3D direction. It is going above this point D. So both CD here at the bottom and this CE here make an angle of 90 degrees. So this angle here you have already shown here in the diagram in the question, this angle CD and CB. This angle CD and CB between these two lines CD and CB is 90, and this angle between lines CE here and CB would be 90 as well, which I have marked here in this case. So once you open this up, this triangle, this triangle EBC, which will open towards the right. So if I open this up towards the right, this line will be actually straight here because this makes a 90-degree angle. So if I flip this down on here in this direction, this will make a 90-degree angle. So this line will go straight. And what is the length of this line? We know this is 3. This height of E is 4. And using the triangle EDC, you can measure this hypotenuse using the Pythagoras theorem, which gave you this length 5. So once you open it up, you will get a length of 5 here at a 90-degree angle. So let's complete this diagram. So this is the orientation. So this open ups to the net here opens up to the right side. So here it will be at a 90-degree angle and length was 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll go up till this point 5 and then join this here. So this will complete your net. So this is your point E as well, and this CE is also 5. So once you make the pyramid, you fold all of these triangles. They will come up and join at point E, which is directly above D. So this is how you will solve this problem, and I hope that this representation of this pyramid in a 3D model here will help you better visualize how I solved this question, how you open it up in the net, and how you'll get these triangles. So part B is calculate the total surface area of the pyramid. So the total surface area is basically all these triangular sides here plus the base. So I can basically look at the net, which makes it a little easier to calculate the surface area. So surface area would be this area of this square, which is 3 by 3. So 3 into 3 plus area of uh, these 4 triangles. So now if you look at them, these two are exactly same, 4, 3, and 5 hypotenuse, and these two are exactly same, 5 height, 3 base, and then hypotenuse. So I can bunch these two together. So my area will be 1 by 2 into base is what? 3. Base is 3. And height is what? 4. Both cases 4. And then multiply this by 2 because there are two such triangles. And then again, there are two such triangles which have base is 3, multiply by 3, and height is 5. So this will be 9 plus 2 and 2 cancel out plus 12 plus 2 and 2 cancel out 15. 15 plus 12 is 17. Oh no, sorry, 27. And then 27 plus 9 is 36. So your total surface area for this pyramid is 36 centimeters square. Question number 18 is the region R is defined by the inequalities. So x is greater than equal to 2 but less than equals to 8. Y is greater than equal to 5 but less than equal to 10, and x plus y is greater than equal to 10. On the diagram, shade and label the region R. So these two would be pretty straightforward to draw. We can draw these lines first, which are the boundaries for region R here. So x is greater than equal to 2. So x equals to 2 is this line. So let me quickly draw x equals to 2 would be a vertical line here. So it will go from this point in this direction straight up. So this is x equals to 2. Then it is less, the region is, the other boundary is x is less than equal to 8. So x equals to 8 would be this line. So we can draw another vertical line that starts from x equals to 8. So something like this. So this is x equals to 8. So let me label them as well. So this line is x equals to 2 and this line is x equals to 8. And the other boundaries are y is greater than or equal to 5 and y is less than or equal to 10. So let me draw these lines as well. So y equals to 5 would be here in the middle between 4 and 6. No, let me try that again. So this will be y equals to 5 and the other line is y equals to 10. So let me draw that. Y equals to 10 will be this horizontal line here. So y equals to 10. So this is, let me label these as well. So this is y equals to 10 and this is y equals to 5. So your region is between x equals to 2 and x equals to 8 and between 10 and 5, which is this whole rectangle here. But there's a third inequality, x plus y is greater than or equal to 10. So we need to draw this line as well so that we can correctly label the region R. So x plus y is greater than or equal to 10. I always recommend to make y the subject of the equation. So this is y greater than or equal to 10 minus x. So uh, when you're given these inequalities, always I recommend to make y the subject of the equation. You can look at the paper October, November 2016, paper 1-1. So the first variant of paper 1 and question number 24. I've explained in that question in detail why it's better to make y the subject of the equation and then uh, put in the inequality sign. Sometimes you may get a wrong answer if you simply substitute the equal sign with an inequality sign, especially when you are given the lines. For example, if you're given a couple of lines like this and you have to label this region here and you are given equations for this line here, this line here, and this line here, don't just go in straight away. So let's assume if I have this line given here, this region R is below this line, so just do not substitute the inequality less than equal to in the given equation for this line. Sometimes it may turn out to be the wrong answer if you haven't made y the subject of the equation. So take a look at this question. I've explained it in detail how you can get a wrong answer for this question here, question number 24 for paper 1-1. So you'll get an idea why it's always better to make y the subject of the equation first. So in this case, I will get y is greater than or equal to 10 minus x. So my equation is y equals to 10 minus x. So if I draw the line for this equation, my region R is above this line because there is a greater than or equal to sign. So let's find a couple of points for this equation. So let's start with, let's assume I have a point x equals to 0. So if I substitute x equals to 0 here, I will get y equals to 10 minus 0, which is equals to 10. So for when x is equals to 0, my y value is 10. And similarly, let's say the other value is y is 0. So if I substitute y equals to 0 here, I will get 0 equals to 10 minus x and x equals to 10. So when y is 0, x is 10. So now I have the 2 points, 0 and 10 and 10 and 0. So let's plot this one first. X value is 10 and y value is 0. So it will be this point here. And the other one is x value is 0 and y value is 10. So this will be this point 0 and 10. Now I can join them with a straight line, which will be the line represented by this equation, y equals to 10 minus x. So let's draw this line from this point here till this point. So this equation here is y equals to 10 minus x. but your region R is defined by y is greater than equal to 10 minus x. So your region R will be above this line and within this triangle. So this will be your region R, this whole. So this is represented by R. So that's how you will solve this question. Question number 19, part A is on the diagram, construct the perpendicular bisector of line AB. So you will use your compass to draw the perpendicular bisector. You will position it at one of the edges. So A is one of the edges, and then you will open the compass more than halfway. So this is more than half the length of this line AB. So let me make sure I have it positioned at A perfectly here. So this is at A, and you can see that the compass is opened. This length is greater than half the length of this line AB. So now you can draw the two arcs, one at the top and one at the bottom. So this will be your first arc here, and the other one will be below here. And then without changing the length of your compass, position it at the other edge, which is B here, and then draw the arcs. So one arc would be this, and the other one would be this here. So now if I join these 2 points, I will get the perpendicular bisector of the line AB. So let me use my ruler here to draw this line, which will be the perpendicular bisector here. So it will be like this. So this is your perpendicular bisector of line AB. So the next part is on the diagram, construct the locus of points inside the triangle ABC that are 7 centimeter from C. So that means you have to draw a circle of radius 7 centimeter. So let me use my compass here and open it up till 7 centimeter. So this will be 7 centimeter. Then I will position it at the center C here. And since I only have to draw the locus inside the triangle, so I only have to draw the part of the circle that is inside the triangle ABC. So I will start my arc at this point, and it will go on up till this point. So this is the part of the circle which is inside this triangle ABC. So all the points on this arc here will be 7 centimeter from C. Part 2 is you have to draw the locus of points that are equidistant from AB and AC. So that means you have to draw the angle bisector of this line C, of this angle CAB. So to draw the angle bisector, I will position it at this point A, my compass at this point A, and then you can open it up to a smaller length, so any reasonable length, something like this, and then draw an arc from the two lines that make the angle, so line AC and AB. So I'll draw the arc from this line till this line here. And then without changing your length of your compass, I will position it here where the arc that I just drew intersects the line AB, and then I will draw another arc here, and then again without changing the length of your compass, position your compass, center it at the intersection of this arc with the other line AC in this case, so here, and then draw the arc which will be like this. So now if I connect the point A with this point, I will get the angle bisector of angle CAB. So let me draw this here. So this will go through this, and then you have to remain inside the triangle, so up till this line BC. So now all the points on this line will be equidistant from the line AC and AB. So part C is P is any point which is equidistance from A and B. So that means if it's equidistance from A and B, the point P will lie on this line bisector, the perpendicular bisector of line AB, more than 7 centimeter from C. So that means if this is the line that is 7 centimeter from C, the points will lie on this line, just starting just below this arc, which is greater than 7 centimeter, and they can continue all the way down on this line. Remember, the point P will always be on this line because it is equidistant from A and B. And it is nearer to AC than AB. So nearer to this line AC than this line AB. So this is your perpendicular bisector of this angle. So all the points on this perpendicular bisector are equidistant from AC and AB. So if your point P is closer, that means it is above this line, because all the points above this line, above this angle bisector, are closer to AC than AB. Find the extremes of the possible positions of P, label them P1 and P2. So your point P, you know, that lies on this line. It has to be below this arc because it's more than 7 centimeter from C, and it has to be above this line because it is nearer, above this angle bisector, because it is nearer to AC than to AB. So your extreme positions for your point P would be, let me mark them here. So this would be your point, let me call this one P1, and this is your extreme position P2. So just below this line, so this intersection is the extreme and this intersection is the extreme. So all the points in between this intersection here, between the arc and the perpendicular bisector, and this intersection here between the angle bisector and the perpendicular bisector. So your point P can lie anywhere here in between these 2 points, P1 and P2. So P1 is the lower extreme and P2 you can call is the upper extreme. So the point P lies on this line between these 2 intersection points, which you have labeled P1 and P2, which are the extreme ends of this. So this is your question number 19. Question number 20 is, giving your answers in standard form, find the value of n multiplied by 700. So you're given n as 2 into 10 power 8. So 2 into 10 power 8 is your n, and then you're multiplying it by 700. So 700 times 2 is 1400 into 10 power 8. Now you have to convert it into standard form. So I will move this decimal 1, 2, and then 3 places here. So if you're moving the decimal left 3 places, you will increase the power of 10 by 3 as well. So this will become 1.4 into 10 to the power 8 plus 3, which is 11. So 1.4 into 10 power 11. Part 2 is you have to calculate 1 over n. So 1 over n is 1 over 2 into 10 power 8. So 1 over 2 is 0.5. So let me take this 10 power 8 into the numerator. So this becomes equals to 1 over 2 into 10 power minus 8, since I brought it up into the numerator. 1 over 2 is, I know, is 0.5 into 10 power minus 8. Now to convert this into standard form, I have to move this decimal 1 place to the right here. So if I move the decimal 1 place to the right, I will decrease the power of 10 by 1 as well. So this will become 5 into 10 power minus 8, and then decreasing it by 1, so minus 1. So this becomes equals to 5 into 10 to the power minus 9. Part B is find the smallest positive integer m, given that mn is a cube number. So what will be mn? M times n. So this is m times n. So you have to find the value of m, and n is what? 2 into 10 power 8. So let me actually. So 2 into 10 power 8. So now if I break this 10 into its prime factors, what are the prime factors of 10? 5 and 2. So this becomes equals to m into 2 into 5 into 2 and power 8. So now if I open this bracket up, I get m into 2 into 5 power 8. So I brought this power inside, so it will be multiplied by the already existing powers, which is 1 in this case and 1 in this case as well. So both 5 and 2 have power 1. So this becomes 8 into 1, 5 power 8 multiplied by 2 power 8. So now this becomes 2 and 2. So you add the powers of 2. So you get 2 power 9 into 5 power 8. Now you know that a perfect cube means all the powers should be multiples of 3, because when you take cube root, so for example, if I want to take the cube root of this, I will do m into 2 power 9 into 5 power 8 whole power 1 by 3 is my cube root. So if the powers are multiples of 3, so when I bring this 1 by 3 inside, this will cancel out and this will become power 3. But 8 is not divisible by 3. So this means this is not a perfect cube yet. So what should be my value of m so that my 5 power 8 becomes a perfect cube? This should be 5 power 1. Because if this is 5 power 1, so if m equals to, wait. So if m equals to 5 power 1, this will become 2 power 9 into 5 power 9. Now I have a perfect cube inside because the powers are multiples of 3, and if I take a cube root, I will get a whole number. So to make this 5 power 8, I need to multiply it by 5 power 1, which is essentially 5. So I multiply this 5 power 8 by 5 to get 5 power 9, and now I have a perfect cube because all the prime factors that I have of 2 into 10 power 8 here all have powers that are multiples of 3. So my value of m is 5 in this case. So if I multiply uh, this number here with 5, so my value of m is 5. So if I multiply 2 into 10 power 8 by 5, I get a perfect cube. Now, question number 21 is the first four terms u1, u2, u3, u4 in a sequence of numbers are given below. So this is your u1, this is your u2, u3. You have to evaluate the value of u5. So u5 is, so your first digit is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next one would be 5 multiplied by your sequence is you're multiplying by 3, then by 4, then by 5, then by 6. So this would be 7 plus you are doing 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared. So this will be 6 squared. So 7 times 5 is 35 plus 36, which is equals to 71. So your answer is 71. So the nth term of this sequence un is in the form of n into n plus p plus n plus q whole square. Write down the values of p and value of q. So you have to find the values of p and q where un is n times n plus p and plus n plus q whole square. So now let's, for example, take this fourth term. What you're doing is you're multiplying for u4, your fourth term, you're multiplying 4, which is basically the same as the n. So fourth term is 4, third term is 3. So for un, you will have n multiplied by, so you're multiplying each time. If you look at here, you're multiplying by a number that is 2 greater than n. So here you have 4, you add 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 plus 2 is 5, 2 plus 2 is 4, 1 plus 2 is 3. So you're multiplying by n plus 2 plus you're taking a square of 5 here. So for the fourth term, you're taking 5 square. For the third term, you're taking 4 square. For the second term, you're taking 3 square. And for the first term, you're taking 2 square. So you always take the square of value of 1 greater than the term value. So your fourth term, you're taking the square of 5. So this will be n plus 1 squared. So now if you compare this with this, so you have n times n plus 2. So this is n times n plus p. So this is p becomes equals to 2 plus n plus 1 whole square. Here you have n plus q whole square. So your q value is basically this one here. So q is 1. So p is 2 and q is 1. So part C is un can also be written in the form of an square plus bn plus c. Find the values of a, b, and c. So now if you expand this expression here, you can convert it into this form and then find the values of a, b, and c. So if you look at this, n into n plus p plus n plus q whole square. So if I open up the bracket, this becomes equals to n squared plus np plus n squared plus 2nq plus q squared. Now I can add, in fact, let me replace the values of p and q as well. So p is 2. So n squared, this becomes plus 2n plus n squared plus 2nq. Q is 1, so this becomes equals to 2n plus q square, 1 square, which is 1. So now if I add the values, I get 2n squared plus 4n plus 1. So now compare it to, in fact, let me write it just below this. So compare it to an squared plus bn plus c. So a is 2, 2, b is 4, and c is 1. So question number 22 is, the diagram shows a circle with center O that passes through A, B, C, D. The tangents are A and B and they meet at T. So these two are tangents from the same external point T. So that means you can use the property that two tangents that meet at the same external point are equal in length. So this length will be equal to this length, which means if this is z degrees, this will also be z degrees. Angle ATB is 62, so this angle here is 62 and DAB is 53. Find the angle X. So this is your angle X that you need to calculate. So this is actually twice the angle DAB, which is 53, because this angle is subtended by the same segment. This is at the center and this is at the circumference. So you know the property that angle at center is twice the angle at circumference. So x will be equals to x will be equal to 53 into 2, which is 106 degrees. 106. Find y. So y is this angle, and if you look at this quadrilateral ABCD, which is this one, A, B, and then C, and then D. If you look at this quadrilateral, this is a cyclic quadrilateral because all four vertices are on the circumference. So you know the property of cyclic quadrilaterals that opposite angles sum up to 180 degrees. So y plus 53 should be 180. So y would be equals to 180 minus 53, which is 127. So y is 127 degrees. Part C is find z. So z is this one angle of this isosceles triangle. This is z as well, because these two lengths are equal, and this is 62. So z plus 62 will be 180 degrees, sum of all the interior angles of the triangle. 2z will be 180 minus 62. So 2z would be equals to 118, and this will give z equals to 118 divided by 2, which is 59 degrees. So z is 59 degrees. And then the last part is find the angle T. So if you want to find angle T, so we know that this length OB is radius because O is the center, and since this TB is a tangent, that means this angle between the tangent and the radius you know is 90 degrees. Let me. So this angle here, T plus Z is 90, or this one here. This let me just. So T plus Z is 90, and you have already calculated Z. So T plus Z equals to 90 degrees. and t will be equal to 90 minus z, which is 59. 90 minus 59, which is 31 degrees. So the value of t here would be 31 degrees. Question number 23 is find the matrix X such that 2a plus x equals to b. So if I want to find the value of x, I can take this 2a to the other side. So x becomes equals to b minus 2a. Now I can replace the values of a and b. I have b here 6, minus 3, 0, and minus 2. This matrix here. And then minus 2 times a. A is what? 4, minus 1, 2, and 0. So this gives me 6, minus 3, 0, minus 2. And then minus, I bring this 2 inside to multiply with each of these values in the matrix. So I get 8, 2, 4, and 0. Now I can simply calculate this. So I subtract the corresponding values. So 6 minus 8 is minus 2. Minus 3 minus 2 is, oh sorry, this will actually be minus 2 because you brought this 2 in. You left the minus sign outside. So this will be minus 2. So minus 3 minus minus 2. So minus 3 plus 2 is minus 1. 0 minus 4 would be minus 4. And minus 2 minus 0 will be minus 2. So this will be your matrix X. Minus 2, minus 1, minus 4, minus 2. Part B is find the matrix Y such that AY equals to 1, 0, 0, 1. So you're given that AY is equals to 1, 0, 0, 1, and you know that this is the identity matrix. So if I want to find the value of y, I can take this a to the other side. But since a is being pre-multiplied by y, that means it's a times y. If I take a to the other side, I will write a before this matrix because on this side a is being written before y. So remember that AY is not necessarily equal to YA for matrices. It's true for numbers because 2 times 3 is equals to 3 times 2. But if you have matrices, for example, like this matrix A and B, so AB multiplication is not necessarily equal to BA. So you have to make sure that if A is being multiplied by Y here, so Y would be A inverse if you're taking it to the other side, and then 1, 0, 0, 1. You cannot write A inverse after this. If this was YA here, then this A inverse would have been multiplied after this matrix identity matrix. And you know that if you multiply any matrix with the identity matrix, you get the same matrix back. So A inverse times the identity matrix will be A inverse. It's similar to how if you multiply anything by 1, so 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 1 is 4. So similarly, A inverse times the identity matrix would be A inverse. So now I know that y is equals to A inverse. So let me erase this here to make some more space. So I just need to find the inverse of matrix A, and that will be equal to y. So A inverse is 1 over determinant of A multiplied by adjugate of A. So determinant of A, you know that determinant of A is, so you multiply these two, 4 times 0, and then minus, you multiply these two values, minus 2 times minus 1. So 4 times 0 is 0, and this becomes minus 2, minus 2. So this becomes plus 2. So your determinant is A of A is 2. So this becomes 1 over 2 multiplied by adjugate of A. Adjugate of A is you swap these two values here. 4 and 0 will be swapped, and you change the signs of the other two. So minus 1 will become 1 and 2 will become minus 2. So let's write this. So if you swap 4 and 0, this becomes 0 and 4, and then you change the signs of the other two. So this becomes 1 and minus 2. So if you want, you can bring this 1 by 2 inside. So 0 divided by 2 is still 0. This will become 0 0.5. 1 divided by 2 is 0 0.5. Minus 2 divided by 2 will become minus 1, and 4 divided by 2 will be 2. So this will be your answer here. 0, 0.5, minus 1, and 2. So question number 24 is triangle A is mapped onto triangle B by a translation followed by an enlargement with center 10 minus 4. So there are two transformations that you do to A to get B. First you translate, which means you move it somewhere, here, 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 somewhere, and then you enlarge it so that it becomes equals to B. The translation maps triangle A onto C. So the translation, after translation, you map the triangle A onto triangle C, and then after the enlargement, the triangle C is mapped onto this triangle B. Write down the scale factor of the enlargement. So to find the scale factor of the enlargement, we can divide the corresponding lengths of the two triangles. So we know that translation will not change any length of the triangle A. So if this length here is 1, 2, 3, after translation, we only move the triangle around. So this length will still be 3. So your scale factor can be calculated if you divide the length of the image divided by the length of the original triangle. So if this is length 3, the corresponding length in triangle B is this, which is 6. So your scale factor is 6 divided by 3. 6 is the length after enlargement, and 3 is the length of the same side before enlargement. So your scale factor is 2. So your answer is 2 here. Part B is draw triangle C on the grid. So triangle C is the triangle that we get after uh, translation of triangle A, and if you enlarge triangle C, so you get triangle C after you translate triangle A, and then if you enlarge triangle C, you get triangle B. So we don't know anything about the translation, so we cannot get C from using any translation from A, because we don't know any translation matrix or the column vector that represents the translation. So what you can do is use this triangle B, and you are also told what is the center of enlargement. So you can use these two to draw the triangle C on the grid. So what is the center of enlargement? 10 minus 4. So 10 minus 4. So this is the center of enlargement, which is 10 and minus 4. So let's say triangle C that we have to draw is represented by X, Y, and Z, three vertices. And let's call the three corresponding coordinates of triangle B as X prime, Y prime, and this one is Z prime. So let's call triangle B after enlargement is X prime, Y prime, and Z prime. Now you know that if I connect X prime to my center of enlargement, my point X will lie on the line that connects the center of enlargement with X prime. So let me actually draw this line here. So if I draw this line here, so my center X prime is after enlargement. So my point X, which is in the triangle C, is somewhere along this line. And similarly, if I join Y prime with the center, Y will be on that line somewhere. So if I join Y prime with my center of enlargement like this, now my Y is somewhere on this line as well. Y, which is the vertex of triangle C. And similarly for Z prime, if I connect my Z prime with my center of enlargement, you know that this line will pass through the point Z, because you have studied that if you connect your image that you get after the enlargement with the center, or if you connect if you connect the image that you get, which is B here after enlargement, if you connect it with the center of enlargement, your lines will pass through the corresponding vertices of the original triangle, which is triangle C in this case. So if I connected x prime with this center of enlargement here, my point x is somewhere on the line. This line is passing through the point x. So it's the point x is somewhere on this line. Now we know that triangle C has the same dimensions as triangle A. So if this length is 3 and this corresponding length xy prime is 6, so this corresponding length between x and y for triangle C will be 3 as well. So if you look at these two lines, when is the distance 3 between these two lines? That will be the 2 points that will be x and y. So because I translate this triangle A onto C, so the lengths would not change. The sides, the length of the sides will be the same. So which is the point that gives me the length which is between x and y prime, which is 3. So this is 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I keep going down, here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, around 4. And if I keep going down and if I look at this distance here, this distance here is 3. So this point is x and this point is y. And I know that point z prime, point z is on this line, and the distance between y and z would be 2 because it's the same as in triangle A. So if I y here, I go 2 points up, and this will be my point z, which is 2 points above y, 2 points above y, same as this distance in A, and also lies on the line which connects z prime to this center of enlargement O. So now if I connect this last two, x and z, I will get my triangle C. So this is how you get your triangle C. You connect your image with the center of enlargement, and you know that the lines connecting with the center of enlargement, your original image, original triangle will have the vertices on the same line. So this was x prime, and the point x lies on this line here. Point y lies on this line here. Point z lies on this line here. And we know the distances between x and y is 3 because of this. And this distance is 2. So this distance is 2. So A is translated onto C and then enlarged onto B. Part C is find the column vector that represents the translation that maps the triangle A onto triangle C. So let me call this column vector that we need to find PQ, and we can take any two corresponding points. So let's look at this point here and this point X here. So this point was translated from 0, 0 to 5 minus 1, right? So you know for translation, so if I want to translate 0, 0, and then I add the translation vector, which is PQ, PQ. So after translation, what do I get? 5 and minus 1, 5 and minus 1. So if I want to find the values of P and Q, I take this 0, 0 vector onto the other side. So this becomes equal to 5 minus 1 minus 0, which is this, which will remain the same. So these values remain the same. So this becomes PQ equals to 5 minus 1, which is your translation vector that we defined. So your translation column vector is 5 minus 1. Question number 25 is the diagram is the speed time graph for 60 seconds of a train's journey. At the beginning of this part of the journey, the train is traveling at u meters per second. Giving each answer in its simplest form, find the expression in terms of u for the deceleration for the last 10 seconds. So you have to find this deceleration. So you know that deceleration is equals to change in speed divided by time taken. So what's the change in speed? You went from u to 0. So your change in speed is u minus 0 divided by the time taken is 60 minus 50, which is 10 seconds. So u over 10. This is your deceleration. Part B is find the speed when t equals to 55. So t equals to 55 would be somewhere here in the middle. So this is 55. So if I keep going up and then I can keep going left, straight, and let's call this speed v. So this is the speed that you need to calculate, which is represented by v here. So you can use the property, since this is the straight line, I will have the same gradient no matter which 2 points do I use to calculate this value. So let's say we use this value v and 55, and the other value is this u and 50. So let me say deceleration. So what's the change in speed? U minus v. You started with u and you ended with v. So u minus v is the change in speed. And how much time did it take? 5 seconds. 55 minus 50. So 5 seconds. And you know that deceleration is u by 10 that you calculated in the first part. So u by 10 equals to u minus v by 5. And now you have to find the value of v in terms of u in its simplest form. So if I cross multiply, I get 5u equals to 10u minus 10v. And then if I take this to the other side, I get minus 5u equals to minus 10v. And this gives me minus and minus cancel out, and v will be 5 over 10u, which is 1 over 2. So u by 2. So this will be u by 2. So your value is u by 2 meter per second. The distance traveled during these 60 seconds. So the distance is the area under the graph. So I can use, so this shape is a trapezium. So the height is u. So this is the height u. The two parallel sides are, this side is 60 up till this point here. So this is 60 and the other side is up till this point, which is 50. So I can use distance equals to 1 by 2 into height is u into sum of parallel sides. So parallel sides are 60 plus 50. So this is 60 plus 50 is 110. 110 u by 2. So this is actually, if you divide 110 by 2, you get 55 u. So your answer is 55 u meters. So this was paper 1-2. So second variant of paper 1, May June 2018.